Pakistan, officially the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, is a country in South Asia. It is the sixth most populous country with a population exceeding 201 million people. It is the 36th largest country in the world in terms of area, with an area covering 881,913 square kilometers. Pakistan has a 1,046-kilometer coastline along the Arabian Sea in the Gulf of Oman in the south and is bordered by India to the east, Afghanistan to the west, Iran to the southwest, and China in the far northeast respectively. It is separated from Tajikistan by Afghanistan's narrow Wakhan corridor in the north, and also shares a maritime border with Oman. The territory that now constitutes Pakistan is considered a cradle of civilization, which was previously home to several ancient cultures, including the Meghar, the Neolithic and the Bronze Age Indus Valley civilization, and was later home to kingdoms ruled by people of different faiths and cultures, including Hindus, Indo-Greeks, Muslims, Turco-Mongols, Afghans and Sikhs. The area has been ruled by numerous empires and dynasties, including the Indian Mauryan Empire, the Persian Achaemenid Empire, Alexander of Macedonia, the Arab Umayyad Caliphate, the Delhi Sultanate, the Mongol Empire, the Mughal Empire, the Durrani Empire, the Sikh Empire and the British Empire. Pakistan is unique among Muslim countries as it is the only country to have been created in the name of Islam. As a result of the Pakistan movement led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the subcontinent's struggle for independence, Pakistan was created in 1947 as an independent nation for Muslims from the regions in the east and west of the subcontinent where there was a Muslim majority. Initially a dominion, Pakistan adopted a new constitution in 1956, becoming an Islamic Republic. A civil war in 1971 resulted in the secession of East Pakistan as the new country of Bangladesh. Pakistan is a federal parliamentary republic consisting of 4 provinces and 4 federal territories. It is an ethnically and linguistically diverse country, with a similar variation in its geography and wildlife. A regional and middle power, Pakistan has the 7th largest standing armed forces in the world and is also a nuclear power as well as a declared nuclear weapons state, being the only nation in the Muslim world, and the second in South Asia, to have that status. It has a semi-industrialized economy with a well-integrated agriculture sector. Its economy is the 26th largest in the world in terms of purchasing power and 45th largest in terms of nominal GDP, and is also characterized among the emerging and growth-leading economies of the world. The post-independence history of Pakistan has been characterized by periods of military rule, political instability and conflicts with neighboring India. The country continues to face challenging problems, including overpopulation, terrorism, poverty, illiteracy, and corruption. Despite these factors, it maintains strategic endowments and development potential while it has made substantial progress in reducing poverty, giving it the second lowest headcount poverty rate in South Asia. The nation has recently witnessed a rapid expansion of its prosperous middle class, the 18th largest worldwide. Pakistan's stock exchange is Asia's highest performing stock market and, as of 2016, is part of the MSCI's Emerging Markets Index. It is a member of the United Nations, the Commonwealth of Nations, the Next 11 Economies, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, ECO, UFC.It, Cairns Group, Kyoto Protocol, ICCPR, RCD, UNCHR, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, Group of 11, CPFTA, Group of 24, the G20 Developing Nations, ECOSOC, founding member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, SAARC in CERN. Etymology. The name Pakistan literally means land of the pure in Urdu and Persian. It comes from the word Pak meaning pure in Persian and Pashto, while the word Istan is a Persian word meaning place of. It is a cognate of the Sanskrit word stana. It was coined in 1933 as Pakistan by Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, a Pakistan movement activist, who published it in his pamphlet Now or Never, using it as an acronym referring to the names of the 5 northern regions of the British Raj: Punjab, Afghania, Kashmir, Sindh, and Balochistan. The letter I was incorporated to ease pronunciation and formed the linguistically correct and meaningful name. History. Early and medieval age. Some of the earliest ancient human civilizations in South Asia originated from areas encompassing present-day Pakistan. The earliest known inhabitants in the region were Saonian during the Lower Paleolithic, of whom stone tools have been found in the Soan Valley of Punjab. The Indo region, which covers most of present-day Pakistan, was the site of several successive ancient cultures including the Neolithic Meghar and the Bronze Age Indus Valley civilization at Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. The Vedic civilization, characterized by Indo-Aryan culture, laid the foundations of Hinduism, which would become well established in the region. Multan was an important Hindu pilgrimage center. The Vedic civilization flourished in the ancient Gandharan city of Taxila, now Taxila in Punjab. Successive ancient empires and kingdoms ruled the region. The Persian Achaemenid Empire around 519 BC, Alexander the Great's empire in 326 BC, and the Maurya Empire founded by Chandragupta Maurya and extended by Ashoka the Great until 185 BC. The Indo-Greek kingdom founded by Demetrius of Bactria included Gandhara and Punjab and reached its greatest extent under Menander, prospering the Greco-Buddhist culture in the region. Taxila had one of the earliest universities and centers of higher education in the world. The medieval period is defined by the spread of Islam in the region. During this period, Sufi missionaries played a pivotal role in converting a majority of the regional Buddhist and Hindu population to Islam. A Ray dynasty of At-its zenith ruled this region and the surrounding territories. The Pala dynasty was the last Buddhist empire that under Dharampala and Dvarpala stretched across South Asia from what is now Bangladesh through northern India to Pakistan. The Arab conqueror Muhammad bin Qasim conquered Indus Valley from Sindh to Multan in southern Punjab in 711 AD. The Pakistan government's official chronology identifies this as the point where the foundation of Pakistan was laid. This conquest set the stage for the rule of several successive Muslim empires in the region, including the Ghaznavid Empire, the Ghurrid Kingdom and the Delhi Sultanate. The Lodi dynasty, the last of the Delhi Sultanate, was replaced by the Mughal Empire. The Mughals introduced Persian literature and high culture, establishing the roots of Indo-Persian culture in the region. In the early 16th century, the region remained under the Mughal Empire ruled by Muslim emperors. By the early 18th century, the increasing European influence slowly disintegrated the empire as the lines between commercial and political dominance were increasingly blurred. During this time, the English East India Company had established coastal outposts, control over the seas, greater resources, technology, and military force projection by East India Company of British Empire led it to increasingly flex its military muscle, a factor that was crucial in allowing the company to gain control over the subcontinent by 1765 and sidelining the European competitors. Expanding access beyond Bengal and the subsequent increased strength and size of its army enabled it to annex or subdue most of region by the 1820s. To many historians, this marked the starting of region's colonial period. By this time, with its economic power severely curtailed by the British Parliament and itself effectively made an arm of British administration, the company began to more consciously enter non-economic arenas such as education, social reform, and culture. Such reforms included the enforcement of English Education Act in 1835 and the introduction of the Indian Civil Service. Traditional madrasas, primary institutions of higher learning for Muslims in the subcontinent, were no longer supported by the English Crown, and nearly all of the madrasas lost the financial endowment. Colonial period. The gradual decline of the Mughal Empire in the early 18th century enabled the Sikh Empire's influence to control larger areas until the British East India Company gained ascendancy over the Indian subcontinent. The rebellion in 1857 was the region's major armed struggle against the British Empire and Queen Victoria. Divergence in the relationship between Hinduism and Islam created a major rift in British India, thus instigating racially motivated religious violence in India. The language controversy further escalated the tensions between Hindus and Muslims. The Hindu Renaissance witnessed the awakening of intellectualism in traditional Hinduism and saw the emergence of more assertive influence in the social and political spheres in British India. Intellectual movement to counter the Hindu Renaissance was led by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who helped founding the All India Muslim League in 1901 and envisioned as well as advocated for the two-nation theory. In contrast to the Indian Congress's anti-British efforts, the Muslim League was a pro-British whose political program inherited the British values that would shape Pakistan's future civil society. In events during World War I, British intelligence foiled an anti-English conspiracy involving the nexus of Congress and the German Empire. The largely non-violent independence struggle led by the Indian Congress engaged millions of protesters in mass campaigns of civil disobedience in the 1920s and 1930s against the British Empire. The Muslim League slowly rose to mass popularity in the 1930s amid fears of underrepresentation and neglect of Muslims in politics. In his presidential address of the 29th of December 1930, Allama Iqbal called for the amalgamation of Northwest Muslim-majority Indian states, consisting of Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, Sindh and Balochistan. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, greatly espoused the two-nation theory and led the Muslim League to adopt the Lahore Resolution of 1940, popularly known as the Pakistan Resolution. In World War II, Jinnah and British-educated founding fathers in the Muslim League supported the United Kingdom's war efforts, countering opposition against it whilst working towards Sir Syed's vision. As the cabinet mission failed in India, the Great Britain announced the intentions to end its Raj in India in 1946–47. Nationalists in British India, including Jawaharlal Nehru and Abul Kalam Azad of Congress, Jinnah of Muslim League, and Master Tara Singh representing the Sikhs, agreed to the proposed terms of transfer of power and independence in June 1947. As the United Kingdom agreed upon partitioning of India in 1947, the modern state of Pakistan was established on 14 August 1947 in amalgamating the Muslim-majority eastern and northwestern regions of British India. It comprised the provinces of Balochistan, East Bengal, the Northwest Frontier Province, West Punjab and Sindh, thus forming Pakistan. The partitioning of Punjab and Bengal led to the series of violent communal riots across India and Pakistan. Millions of Muslims moved to Pakistan, and millions of Hindus and Sikhs moved to India. Dispute over Jammu and Kashmir led to the First Kashmir War in 1948. Independence and modern Pakistan. After independence and the partition of India in 1947, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the president of Muslim League, became nation's first Governor-General as well as first President-Speaker of the Parliament. Meanwhile, Pakistan's founding fathers agreed upon appointing Liaquat Ali Khan, the Secretary-General of the party, the nation's first Prime Minister, with dominion status in the Commonwealth of Nations. Independent Pakistan had two British monarchs before it became a republic. Maulana Shabir Ahmad Usmani, a respected Deobandi alim who occupied the position of Sheikh al-Islam in Pakistan in 1949, and Maulana Maududi of Jamaat-e-Islami played a pivotal role in the demand for an Islamic constitution. Maududi demanded that the Constituent Assembly make an explicit declaration affirming the supreme sovereignty of God and the supremacy of the Sharia in Pakistan. A significant result of the efforts of the Jamaat-e-Islami and the Ulama was the passage of the Objectives Resolution in March 1949. The Objectives Resolution, which Liaquat Ali Khan called the second most important step in Pakistan's history, declared that sovereignty over the entire universe belongs to God Almighty alone and the authority which He has delegated to the state of Pakistan, through its people for being exercised within the limits prescribed by Him as a sacred trust. The Objectives Resolution has been incorporated as a preamble to the constitutions of 1956, 1962, and 1973. Democracy was stalled by the martial law enforced by President Iskandar Mirza, who was replaced by Army Chief General Ayub Khan, forming presidential system in 1962. The country experienced exceptional growth until a second war with India in 1965, which led to economic downfall and wide-scale public disapproval. In 1967, consolidating the control from Ayub Khan in 1969, President Yahya Khan had to deal with a devastating cyclone which caused 500,000 deaths in East Pakistan. In 1970, Pakistan held its first democratic elections since independence that were meant to mark a transition from military rule to democracy. But after the East Pakistani Awami League won against Pakistan People's Party, Yahya Khan and military establishment refused to hand over power. Operation Searchlight, a military crackdown on the Bengali nationalist movement, led to a declaration of independence and the waging of a war of liberation by the Bengali Mukti Bahini forces in East Pakistan, with support from India. However, in West Pakistan the conflict was described as a civil war as opposed to a war of liberation. Independent researchers think that between 300,000 and 500,000 civilians died during this period, while the Bangladesh government puts the figure of dead at 3 million, a number which is now universally regarded as excessively inflated. Some academics such as Rudolf Russell and Raunak Jahan accused both sides of genocide, whereas others such as Richard Sisson and Leo E. Rose believe there was no genocide. Preemptive strikes on India by the Pakistan's Air Force, Navy, and Marines, in response to India's support for the insurgency in East Pakistan, sparked the conventional war in 1971, which witnessed the Indian victory and East Pakistan gaining independence as Bangladesh, with Pakistan surrendering in the war. Yahya Khan was replaced by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto as president. The country worked towards promulgating constitution and putting the country on roads of democracy. Democratic rule resumed from 1972 to 1977, an era of self-consciousness, intellectual leftism, nationalism, and nationwide reconstruction. During this period, Pakistan embarked on ambitiously developing the nuclear deterrence in 1972 in a view to prevent any foreign invasion. The country's first nuclear power plant was inaugurated. Also the same year, accelerated in response to first nuclear test by India in 1974. This crash program completed in 1979. Democracy ended with a military coup in 1977 against the leftist PPP, which saw General Zia-ul-Haq become the president in 1978. From 1977 to 1988, President Zia's corporatization and economic Islamization initiatives led to Pakistan becoming one of the fastest-growing economies in South Asia, while consolidating the nuclear development, increasing Islamization, and the rise of homegrown conservative philosophy. Pakistan helped subsidize and distribute U.S. resources to factions of the Mujahideen against the USSR's intervention in communist Afghanistan. President Zia died in a plane crash in 1988, and Benazir Bhutto, daughter of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, was elected as the country's first female prime minister. The Pakistan People's Party followed by Conservative Pakistan Muslim League, and over the next decade whose two leaders fought for power, alternating in office while the country's situation worsened. Economic indicators fell sharply, in contrast to the 1980s. This period is marked by prolonged stagflation, instability, corruption, nationalism, geopolitical rivalry with India, and the clash of left-wing right-wing ideologies. As PML secured a supermajority in elections in 1997, Sharif authorized the nuclear testings, as a retaliation to second nuclear tests ordered by India, led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in May 1998. Military tension between the two countries in the Kargil district led to the Kargil War of 1999, and a turbulence in civic-military relations allowed General Pervez Musharraf took over through a bloodless coup d'etat. Musharraf governed Pakistan as chief executive from 1999 to 2001 and as president from 2001 to 2008, a period of enlightenment, social liberalism, extensive economic reforms, and direct involvement in the U.S.-led war on terrorism. When the National Assembly historically completed its first full 5-year term on 15 November 2007, the new elections were called by the Election Commission. After the assassination of Benazir Bhutto in 2007, the PPP secured largest votes in the elections of 2008, appointing party member Yusuf Raza Gilani as Prime Minister. Threatened with facing impeachment, President Musharraf resigned on 18 August 2008, and was succeeded by Asif Ali Zardari. Clashes with the judicature prompted Gilani's disqualification from the parliament and as the Prime Minister in June 2012. By its own financial calculations, Pakistan's involvement in the war on terrorism has cost up to $67.93 billion, thousands of casualties and nearly 3 million displaced civilians. The general election held in 2013 saw the PML almost achieve a supermajority, following which Nawaz Sharif became elected as the Prime Minister, returning to the post from the third time after 14 years, in a democratic transition.